Hello everybody, it's K back again, and I'm finally making this long awaited video that I should have made time ago, but I just didn't. But today, guys, I'm gonna be talking about my diabetes.
And get the money like curls, they just trying to get a nut.
Going over my story. For y'all that don't know, Keel, I am a type 1 diabetic. I got it when I was, I believe, 16. I'm now 20. Yeah, I guess I'll just start from the start. This happened very gradually. Like, it wasn't an instant, oh, I go to the hospital, they say I got diabetes, blah blah blah. It is that, but it's just dragged out. All the diabetics out there will know these symptoms. I started needing to pee loads, and it just became more frequent and more frequent. I was extremely thirsty. Not in that way. I just was drinking bare water all the time. I lost loads of weight. Not that I was like fat or anything, but yeah, you could just tell I became extremely skinny. My hands and feet became extremely cold. I think that was just due to lack of movement, you know, not enough blood circulation. That was going on for quite a while. Now, when we realized something was wrong was I was out with Cameron and we was riding bikes. This is during 2020 lockdown. We're out, we're riding bikes all the time, and then Cameron gets an electric bike, like, you know, that electric Carrera, the red and black one. He got that, whereas mine was just the standard Carrera Vengeance, you know, the old black thing. That was my one. We was out, we was going on a ride, as we always did, fucking about, and I struggled to ride my bike. I couldn't do it. I just felt way too weak to do anything. But I was like, I'm gonna go out anyway, have fun with my nigga. I was really struggling to ride my bike. Now, that's when we made the decision to literally just go back to yard. Thankfully, me and Cameron literally... Okay, mate. Thankfully, me and Cameron literally lived like right opposite each other. For y'all that know, you know. We lived like right opposite each other, so it wasn't a situation of like having to drop me off or anything like that, because he lived right there. We decided it's time to circle back to yard, and Cameron, being the generous, lovely human being that he is, said, you ride my bike, the electric one, because yeah, you can't ride your own, you're too weak, clearly. Ride mine. So it's like, it's not fully electric, but when you pedal it, you know what I'm trying to say, yeah. And so I got on his bike, I started to ride, and I still couldn't ride the bike. I was still too weak to ride. I was too weak to ride an electric bike. I said, bro, what is going on? But young me at the time, I wasn't deep in any of this. Like, I wasn't deep in that I was extremely sick. Like, it did not come to mind. And I don't think my parents were deep in either, or anyone around me. I remember they said they thought that I had lost bare weight and I was just gonna shoot up, because that's apparently what be happening. Unfortunately, that was not the case. I am still small. But coming back from that ride, Cameron literally told my mom, he was like, something's wrong. Like, something is wrong, so make sure you just check up on him. And yeah, my mom thanked him and everything, so make sure to get good friends like Cameron. Literally just got to a point so bad where I couldn't move on my own. I literally had to stay in bed. But it wasn't a one of, oh, I'm in bed and I'm bored. It's like, no, my mind was gone. I was completely out of it. I didn't know what was happening. Days felt like seconds. My parents gave me, because my mom was a teacher, she used to have this little bell thing that she'd put in her class, probably to get the students to shut up. So they gave me the bell so that I'd just ring the bell anytime I needed the toilet or anything, and they'd have to come pick me up, take me to the toilet, put me down. And I was low-key embarrassed because I'm like, okay, I'm a teenager and my parents are like carrying me to the toilet, and like they're just there while I'm on the toilet. But I was like, okay, it's my parents, fuck it, is what it is. I needed assistance though, so I couldn't do nothing about it. I just felt pathetic. I remember feeling absolutely just pathetic. I didn't know what was going on, and I just hated it. I hated it. I wanted it to end. This all happened over like the span of, I would say, a good month or two. It came up to the point, it's Easter now. Easter is gonna be on Sunday, obviously, Easter Sunday. And it's Saturday night. I need to go to the toilet as I was peeing loads. I go to the toilet and I was sitting on the toilet, not making any absolute sense. And this is when my dad was like, yeah, okay, no, we gotta take this nigga to hospital, something's wrong. And we've been trying everything, we've been trying all the natural herbs and remedies and that. Even my nan, who is a nurse, she came with her friend and they study all that type of medicines and stuff, and they was like trying everything on me, trying the they put like cayenne pepper on my hands and feet in gloves and all of this shit. So they called the hospital. I don't remember any of this, but apparently in the hospital, and in the ambulance on the way to the hospital, the woman smelt my breath, the ambulance lady, and she said she think it's diabetes because of the way that my breath smelled. It smelled like pear drops. I don't know if you've ever had pear drops, but I don't remember anything. I just remember being in hospital, like sliding from one bed to another, being pushed about on a wheelchair, voices in the background, but I was completely out of it. I don't wake up till Wednesday, like fully. I don't fully wake up till Wednesday. I open my eyes, my mom is standing there. This is COVID time, so they don't let people in the hospital, but my mom was like, no, I'm staying with him because technically he's not classed as a child. However, I wasn't old enough to be like in the adults ward. But man, I remember waking up and one of the first things I asked my mom was, do I have diabetes? I don't know how I knew. I must have like heard it and then just relayed what I heard. But I said, do I have diabetes? And she said, yeah. And I said, oh, fuck. fuck. I didn't know what to think. Obviously, I don't know nothing about diabetes. I have done no research on this because why would I? Why do I ever think that I'd need to know anything about diabetes? Yeah, it was a lot to initially take in, but because I was so like just folded. Because I was so just folded and out of it, even when I asked that and I got the answer that I didn't want to hear, I wasn't like, it didn't register. It just didn't register. So yeah, days went by. I had I was obviously hooked up to the IV drip, so I was in the ICU, I think they call it. I had a catheter in me. Anyone that knows about, I think it's called a catheter, where they put it in your dick hole so that you can pee through the tube. Oh, I felt so uncomfortable when I got like feeling back. I was like, I just felt something in my meat. It was so disturbing. I was like, what the actual fuck is going on here? Okay, I'm peeing through a tube. I don't have to shit because I'm just getting all my nutrition from the IV drips. So That was thankfully. They moved me after like a day or two to the actual children's room. I was on the children's ward, but they just moved me to a room with other kids. They were annoying as hell, I ain't even gonna lie. Like 3 of them, I think they couldn't have been older than 12 or whatever. So jarring, just making up noise, and I wanted to tell them to shut up, but it's like I'm just in my own head, so I don't have energy. I don't have energy to say or do anything. Oh yeah, it was a very long experience, and I hate hospital. I genuinely hate hospitals. But the people and the staff are nice. I will say that the people and the staff are nice, but as far as like the food, the noise, the sleep, it's all long. Plus they came in like every hour to check my blood sugars and my blood pressure. They'd be doing that, so I can't get no sleep. I was in there for, I believe, a week. I left on Friday or Saturday, so like 5 days, 6 days. Yeah, it was a very, very, very long experience. Now, before this had all occurred, during the months prior to me going into hospital, I had an interview for an apprenticeship, a machining apprenticeship, that, you know, I was gassed for. Like, Cameron went from school straight into an apprenticeship and like started doing his thing. I tried to do that, didn't really work out for me, but I know that I wanted to go in the engineering route. So I finally got an interview for an apprenticeship. Remember, my mom dropped me off, and before the interview, because I was feeling so weak and like thirsty, I literally put water in a glass, not in a glass, in a flask, and I put sugar in in the flask because I remembered the scene. I don't know if anyone's watched Bucky, but when Bucky got really sick and then he had a fight, and then Retsu gave him all this food and for dessert a big jug of sugar water. So I thought, you know what, I'm Bucky basically. Like during the interview I was just sipping on it, trying to keep myself, you know, alive. But that is bad because I was giving myself more sugar. What I didn't know is that with diabetes there is a hypoglycemia and a hyperglycemia. Hypoglycemia is when your blood sugar is low. It feels horrible. It's so long. You can go on the TikTok page. I've literally described the effects and feelings of all of this. Hyperglycemia, on the other hand, as you can imagine, is when your blood sugar is high. The effects of hyperglycemia are much slower than the effects of hypoglycemia. You feel it, but you can survive, you know, for I don't know how long, it depends on the person, but you'll feel it, but it won't be, yeah, as immediate as low blood sugar. But with that being said, still treat your high blood sugar, because as I'm about to explain, I was just eating. However, my pancreas had stopped working, stopped producing insulin, so the sugar in the food wasn't being broken down to be put into my bloodstream. It was just, yeah. Yeah, so my body wasn't feeding off the sugar or carbohydrates from the food. Therefore, it was feeding off my fat cells, which is why I lost so much weight. This is called diabetic ketoacidosis, also known as DKA. Now, DKA can literally kill you, so that's why high blood sugars is, you know, very much still dangerous, even though the effects are much longer lasting, and yeah, very much still kill you. And I think I was damn near on the verge of death. I'm not even gonna lie, I really do think so. In the interview, giving myself sugar water, which I don't know is literally just raising my blood sugar even more. I think when it gets to 20, I think about 25 is when I think it stops working. Like, not stops working, but your device that you're testing your sugars on, it will like stop saying a number and it would just say high. So yeah, my shit was obviously way up there. Longest day ever, and I've been living like that for a good month and a bit. So it was very bad, very bad. But yeah, I got the apprenticeship. Woohoo! Lucky me, lucky Kyle. Got the apprenticeship. Not for very long though, mate, because I came out of that and like, I think the first week or so I was at the college after the apprenticeship, and then I actually went into the workplace to do my thing. It's been like a good couple weeks since I've started, and I end up fainting while I'm on the wire erosion machine. I end up fainting, and essentially I have talked about this in depth on my TikTok, so you can go listen to that story there. But essentially I was let go because I fainted. They let me go because, yeah, I was so young as well, 16, around all them machines and being diabetic. He just saw it as a health risk, so he let me go, which I understand, but so unfair. I was gutted, man. Weekly pay as well, bro. Weekly pay. I think I was getting like 300 to 400 pound weekly, which for my age, for 16 years old, I was like, yes. Oh my gosh, I'm being paid, bro. What the fuck? I am being paid. I've never been so like, I was so gassed. You know when that first paycheck hits you, your first ever official paycheck, you see the amount of money and you're like, yeah man, yeah man. Plus that was weekly too. Oh my gosh. But yeah, got let go. Shame. I had to be taken back to hospital because they wanted to just do a check. Since I was so newly diagnosed as well, they wanted to make sure everything's cool. I didn't think that I was going to be staying over, but I did end up having to stay over, and I didn't want my parents with me this time because I was just pissed off. I've just lost my job, I've fainted, and I don't know why. Now I'm having to be in hospital again after just being here. Yeah, it was a very long day, and they told me that I'm gonna have to stay overnight, and I said no. Like, listen, I would literally walk out. It was Heartlands Hospital. 28 bus stop is over there, G. I can see it out the window. I will walk out and get the bus home. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, they all convinced me to stay there. I said, okay, whatever, I'll stay. The emotional toll it has on you is so not nice, especially when you're so young as well, and it's all in the confusion. You don't know what's going on with yourself. You know, you've been getting diabetes, but you're still going through puberty. Like, there's a lot of emotions and feelings that are just weird. Yeah, it's a lot to deal with. So I was in there for 3 days, I believe, because it's long. There's doctors only go from the morning to a certain time, and they have to go around and check every patient. So yeah, it's just a long ordeal. Ended up getting my heart scan. They said everything was fine, so they let me go. So no reason as to why I fainted. So I still don't know the reason why diabetics be fainting. I'm gonna do my research on that. But yeah, it was a very harsh time, man. So yeah, after that I had to literally go back to college to do my level 2 in engineering. Going back there as a diabetic, it was, I don't even remember. Real shit, I don't even remember, because I didn't care. I didn't care that I was diabetic. It didn't even sink in that I was diabetic. Like, I was just like, okay, whatever, it is what it is. I'm still young, I'm gonna do what I wanna do. That was a good attitude to have, because they say don't let it control you, you control it. However, that was also the wrong attitude to have, because I just fucked myself up completely. So that was like through 2020. Coming like the start of 2021, all through them couple years, a lot happened. A lot happened, not only with my diabetes, but in terms of like family, life and everything. Complete just life flipped on me, basically. Ended up living alone for a while, so I had to literally manage everything by myself. It was tough. It was very tough as a kid. It was very tough. After the second year of college though, I did get another apprenticeship. It was designing like steel wall panels and everything using like 3D software and that. It was like an advanced Minecraft. It was pretty cool. I ended up I fainted there too. All in all, since being diagnosed, I've fainted about, I would say about 10 to 15 times throughout since being diagnosed. So through the 4 years, 10 to 15 times, which it doesn't sound like a lot over 4 years, but living through it, it is a lot, and it's scary. But not too long ago as well, I was sitting in the kitchen making myself food, and I just fainted. I was too late to make it, and I ended up passing out. You can also watch that video on the TikTok, it's all on there. Yeah man, went back into hospital, came out. That whole year was very long. I also ended up getting into a relationship. And it became very toxic. So with life flipping on me having to live alone, sort of just fend for myself, my toxic ass relationship and the diabetes, bro, life was kicking my ass as a teenager. Life was absolutely kicking my ass, and I did not know how to deal with it properly. Generally, it was just fucked. It was very fucked. I ended up fainting while I was working at Kingspan, again due to diabetes. They had to carry me out on like a B-Tech wheelchair. Like the wheelchair couldn't even extend, it was folded like that. So my legs are just hitch up on the thing. I pretended to be passed out. I was awake, but I pretended to be passed out as they literally wheeled me past everybody, because I'm more towards the back. They wheeled me past everybody in the office, out the door, downstairs to the ambulance. So embarrassing. So that's why I just pretended that I was still out of it and fainted, even though I was fully conscious. But I didn't want to open my eyes to face everybody because I was scared and embarrassed as fuck. It's long, man. And then after that, I ended up leaving Kingspan. Just too many things happening in my life, which I suppose I could have stayed. I really could have stayed, but I just wasn't strong enough at the time. Fast forward to today. Yeah, still diabetic, obviously. I'm taking it much more seriously now. I'm starting to do a lot of research on it to find out, what this actually is. So that is my story. I've left out some details. I'll probably make a part 2. Yeah, I'll make a part 2. That's the rough rundown of everything that went on. Yeah, and I won't even lie, anyone new with diabetes, it's hard, man. It is very, very hard. You have to stay mentally strong through it. So, and if you got a supporting family like my nan, want to say hi to everyone? Okay. Well, yeah, if you've got a supporting family, it helps as well. So, peace, yo. Thanks for listening to my story. I'll see you later.
Subscribe, nigga.